What's up, guys?
Two of my favorite people on this planet.
What's going on? Hey!
Sharone gets
how's Denver been treating you, Sharone?
Oh, it's been lovely.
It's been lovely. It's been going good. I saw you played a show a couple weeks ago. How was that?
It was great. It was the first show that I played since the pandemic, and it was very liberating, and I was excited to be on stage for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of really cool things with like I was talking to Rachel about. I feel like some of the like more underground or club bands are going to be the first ones to go back out as opposed to like the big arena shows. And I think that's such a good thing for everyone to be getting the exposure, even though it's still a little scary because you don't know if people are going to show up or not, you know?
But it almost forces people to support local music because no other live shows are happening.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good thing in a bad situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So you just dropped a new single out. Can we pretend? I love the fucking artwork for that. I just need to throw that out there. I love the artwork on that.
Thank you.
What can you tell me about it? Because it's so dope. I love it.
The artwork?
Yeah. The artwork is so fucking cool.
Thanks. Yeah. So my friend Kristen Miller, she runs a photography company out of Denver. And I did the photo shoot with her to promote the single and ended up picking one of those photos for the artwork. And then my friend Hannah Maddox runs a graphic design company and kind of threw down the font and for the title and everything on top of that photo that was taken. And 3 different brains combined turned it into the single artwork.
Yeah, it looked so cool. It was just out of the box. Like I remember I was scrolling through Instagram, I was like, whoa. It like caught my eye, and I just thought it was so artistic and just so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, the idea for the music video for the song was a broken doll, so I wanted to incorporate that into the single artwork as well.
Yeah, for sure. So what can you tell me about the single? Like how has it been kind of getting received from your fans?
I think it's safe to say it's been the most well-received song I've released in my life. So that's pretty cool. It shot up to, I think, over 1,000 Spotify plays in the span of a week. The music video's broken 1,000 views on YouTube, which, you know,
I think you're almost at 2,000.
But what's that?
I think you're almost at 2,000 total between Vivo and your channel.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I mean, this is the first music video I've had on Vivo too. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, it's been doing really well, and I'm pretty happy about it. I'm really proud of the song, and I'm glad that people are connecting with it so much and that are enjoying listening to it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I found through a lot of your music that it's always very relatable. And I don't want to say I have a problem finding that with different bands, but I kind of do. Like, unless I know them, I'm kind of like, okay, this is a cool track, but I can't really relate to it. Your music just has always been very relatable. I discovered you back in December, and I brought you on the podcast back then. And I really liked the album that you put out last December, and I think you're working on a new one. Am I right?
Yes.
That turnover is like nuts. We're not waiting like 3 years for a new record. That's crazy.
I mean, there's nothing else to do. We're all in quarantine, right? May as well make some music.
Yeah, I feel like that's what everybody's like there's gonna be some really dope music that comes out of this. I guess that's like the good thing, because everyone's like locked inside making all this like different shit, you know?
Exactly.
So is there anything you could tell me about the music that you're putting together for the record that you're comfortable with sharing?
Sure, yeah. I'm actually going in tomorrow to lay down vocals for the next single. A lot of this new music, it's definitely gone in a heavier direction from Reflection, and especially in Caribbean of Nightmares. So this new album is a lot heavier. It's got more pop elements as far as, you know, the vocals go and some of the production. But I mean, as far as themes, it's a lot of, you know, facades and dreams and being honest with yourself. And that's, you know, kind of what these first 2 songs are. Can We Pretend is a lot about, you know, hiding behind a facade and you know, feeling kind of trapped and trying to maintain a certain image, and, you know, like watching it destroy you. And, you know, in specifics to a relationship, for instance. And this new song that is going to be the next single on the album, it's more about dreams and, you know, realizing, you know, with yourself what's important to you, and, you know, letting that be the main focus of your day-to-day life, and making it a point to, you know, make that what you're known for, rather than just, you know, letting everyone kind of push you aside, because that's easy.
Yeah.
You know, people kind of look past it and don't want to pay attention, and it's important to, you know, especially as an artist, to make people pay attention and not letting your art die along with you. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Your stuff's always so relatable, and I just feel like you're a very relatable person too. And I love that you're just very open with everything, and I really like that. I like you as a human being. I know that sounds really weird, but
I mean, that's not being impolite.
Weird.
Sometimes. So Dakota, I do want to talk to you about DI Records, because obviously Sharone is on your label. How do you find these artists that you bring on? Because I know you have a pretty like versatile roster, and it's pretty like you have a couple bands from Canada. I don't think you have any other countries right now, but it's pretty insane to me. So how do you find these bands? Like I have questions about this.
Honestly, I just love music, so anytime I'm working on something, I'm pulling up different bands to listen to while I do it. So if I hear something that's like good or may have potential down the line, I take a more interested look. Plus, there's always bands that submit, and there's always been that spotlight feature where I actively look out for other bands, which is kind of on hiatus because I close submissions.
Yeah.
Everything.
Right. Right. Now, when I met you, it was DI or Devil. I think it was called Devil Inside Promotions, because I remember I made that mistake a couple months ago and called it Promotions, and you were like, "No, it's a record company now, Emmy." How did you make that?
When we became friends, it was actually PA local bands.
Okay.
I mean, it was at the tail end of it, but that was the time.
Okay, but then it ended up going into Devil Inside Promotions, though.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. How did you make the jump, I guess, from like a promotions company to a record label? Like, how did that transition happen?
Well, record label was always the end goal. When I started out, that was always the end goal. I thought it would take me a lot longer to get to that point, but I grew a lot faster than I planned. But the plan was to become familiar with promoting bands on, like, say, a label. So it was all part of a goal to build up the company in different aspects.
Right.
So while it may not have looked like a discernible plan from the outside, there was a plan in place. And so it was actually relatively easy for me. It was just picking bands to only promote. Think of it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I was just kind of curious, and I always wanted to ask you that, but I was like saving it for when I eventually brought you on, because I never knew how that transition happened, because you were like I remember you threw a show in Pittsburgh, and you brought a couple bands in, and it was a really cool thing. And then all of a sudden you were like, oh, I'm turning this into a record company and a record label, and I'm just going MIA for a hot minute. I was just like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, I slowed down pretty much everything in order to build it, to transition it over, which was paperwork, research. Like, there was a lot that went into it. Like, I tried to jot it all down, but I would most likely forget 80% of it.
So how did, and I guess this could be for either of you, how did Sharone end up on DI Records? How did this happen?
I had a dream of an amazing artist on my roster. Her name was Sharone. I don't know why that name stuck with me.
So I played with another band on the label, Dematis, when I was touring last summer, and I played with them out in Pittsburgh. And I guess that's how my name came across Dakota's brain. But I guess he can tell you the rest, because I honestly don't even know the answer past this point. So
you were like, I just showed up and played a show. I don't know, and then I was on a record label.
Yeah, worse things have happened. But that was initially how I found out about her, because I found out Dematis was doing a show with Sharone. So I was like, oh, I'll go take a look. And I'm thankful I forget who the other band was with you that night.
Darn, putting me on the spot here.
Don't even worry about it.
I don't remember the name.
Don't worry
I remember
about
the guy's name, not the band. Yeah, he was like
You're all that matters.
His solo electronic kind of gloomy thing. It was really cool.
Sure.
He's like, I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far. But so I checked out all the bands that they were playing with, because
right.
I was supposed to go to the show, because I had gotten Dematis into a magazine,